People, welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, we're so excited to have you again on the international scene. We all know that a lot is happening between Russia and Ukraine, and right now, people who are in Ukraine seem not to be safe. You understand? Because already Russians have started moving in, and a lot is happening. And guess what? A lot of Nigerians are in there. Most students who are on scholarship are in Ukraine studying different courses. And right now, Nigerian students are crying out. And that's what we have for you this particular minute. Let's look at the news in detail. Nigerian student in Ukraine says they are confused and feel abandoned by their country amidst the escalating war between Russia and Ukraine. There are over 4,000 Nigerian students studying in Ukraine. Premium Times reported how Russian forces attacked major Ukrainian cities Thursday morning in what President Putin described as a special military operation. Russia says it is targeting military installation in Ukraine, but there are fears many civilians have been killed in airstrikes. Amidst the confusion in Ukraine, Nigerians studying in the eastern Ukrainian country says they feel let down. A Nigerian student at Lviv National Medical University Ukraine, Angela Philip, disclosed to Premium Times on Wednesday that although the Nigerian embassy was responsive, students had no information on what to do should a full blown crisis ensue. According to him, he said, according to her, she said, we do not know what is happening. We see other nations organizing flights for their people. I think it will be good to know if we have a place of convergence. We have no idea, and people are asking if they should start returning home. The embassy is responsive anytime we reach out to them, but it is the same response every time, which leaves me wondering if there are no plans for the worst case scenario. Mr. Philip, the president of the Nigerian Student Union in Levy, said. He noted that the situation on the ground he noted that the situation on the ground is one of a great uncertainty. According to him, he said, no one knows what is our fate as Nigerian students here. We just get things online and we try to feel the pulse of the school administration and the locals. Levy is pretty safe. Everybody is going about their businesses. Some day ago, the school sent out information that students could go back to their houses, with the exception of students who had professional examination. We are still trying to get further clarification from the school on why this group is exempted. The issue is we do not have any direction from the Nigerian embassy. I reached out to them and was told to keep checking the website for information. They said they will update us with more information if they receive any. The last update on their website was on January 26th. Oh my God. The last update on the website of Nigeria Embassy was on January 26th, asking us to call the embassy in case of emergency. It has also been reported how the Nigerian embassy in Ukraine on Thursday released a statement saying Nigerians in Ukraine should essentially defend themselves. The embassy urged Nigerian national residents in Ukraine to remain calm but be very vigilant and be responsible for their personal security and safety. The Nigerian embassy in Kyiv, Ukraine, said in a statement shared on Twitter by the Nigerian in Diaspora Commission, NIDCON. Felix Ogunlade, a recent graduate of Ternopil National Medical University who lives in Kyiv, awaiting his medical license examination, told the newspaper that between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. on Thursday morning, he heard three explosions go off. When I heard the first explosion, I thought I was hallucinating due to the panic, and then there were multiple ones. It sounded like fireworks. I was not sure until my housemate confirmed they heard the same thing. Mr. Ogunlade noted that as residents were scampering out of the apartment in fear, he tried to find his way out to leave or any were in the western part of Ukraine, which is still served, but there was no means of transportation out of the city. There was no Uber or train available this morning when we first checked, but we found a train for tomorrow that had 300 seats when we checked, but before we could mobilize our Nigerian and return to book, it was filled up. This was about 20 to 30 minutes interval. He said some affirmative message or communication from the Nigerian embassy would help his confidence. At the moment, Mr. Ogunlade spoke minutes before the statement by the Nigerian embassy. In Tenapil, a 6-hour drive from Kiev, Ukraine capital, Jessica Orakwo, president of Nigerian student in Tenapil National Medical University, said that the embassy has basically said we are on our own. Hey, hey. Speaking to Women Times on Thursday morning, Mr. Orakbo said, we received a letter a few minutes ago asking us to remain calm. And before today, when the threat started, I called the embassy and he said he could not ask us to go home. He said he could not ask us to go home, but people who wanted to could, but he would not be quoted as asking Nigerians to go home. According to Ms. Orabo, a lot of Nigerians are now stuck in Tenapil because earlier on, when some foreign students were appealing for online learning given the rising tension, the school said it could only do that if the foreign embassies wrote them asking for such for their citizens. We reached out to our embassy to put pressure on schools, but our embassy said they could not do anything, saying they could not help our school make that decision. Now the case has become worse. Worst, we cannot travel. Most airlines have cancelled flights. The embassy is not saying anything. We are literally feigning for ourselves. She noted the ambassador said he could only provide relief funds but could not intervene in the school decision making. India brought their letter, but Ghana and Nigerian letters were not issued, and that was when I called and they said they could not infringe on the decision making process of our school, that it has never been done. And if our school wants that kind of letter from them, our school should write to them. It became a game of diplomacy. Nobody wants to take responsibility for asking Nigerians to go home. Although Tenopio is relatively safe, the panic in the air is palpable as schools have been shut. Residents are panicked, buying and flight cancelled, she said. According to Ukraine Ministry of Education and Science, in 2020, of the 76548 international students in Ukraine, 4,227 are Nigerians, the fifth highest international student population. As world power, I take it again. As world leaders condemn and issue sanctions on Russia, Nigeria has not stated its position and has remained quiet in offering any kind of clear advisory to its citizens. The most it had done before the Thursday statement was the January statement asking Nigerians living in Ukraine to take their safety seriously and avoid travels to identify hotspots in eastern Ukraine. Remember, I visited the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Abuja on Wednesday, but got no response on what or if there is plan for Nigerians living in Ukraine. The ministry was as calm as it could be with different events happening and staffers going about the activities as though the world was at its most peaceful state. On the same day, the ministry spokesperson was contacted, Francisca Omoyeli. She said she could not respond immediately as she was at a two-day event in Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. An official of the ministry who spoke in confidence said students who wanted to be evacuated would need to notify the embassy of their intention to return home, adding that the students should also be able to prove that security situation in their locality was there and deserving evacuation. She added that as of Wednesday, the Nigerian embassy in Kiev has yet to notify the ministry of any alarming situation or need to evacuate Nigerians. Residents of the Ukraine Ukrainian capital Kiev are trooping out of the capital, moving west in search of a safer haven. India is evacuating its students from Ukraine, while US, Canada, and Australia have evacuated most of the citizens from Ukraine. My God. When you are from Nigeria and you travel to any country of your choice, it's important for you to know that you are on your own. All of these things I say, you are writing to embassy. If you can run for your life, if you can protect yourself, protect it. You have, for me, my suggestion is that they should engage in prayer. Only God can save them. This time, because it's a very serious one. But however, according to them, none of them have said they have their place of residence in Ukraine is troubling. You understand? So let them just hold their peace. We are praying for them from here, and I hope that the Nigerian government will do something swiftly to ensure that they are protected. That's where we would like to leave it. Go to our